Okay, here we go.
Here we go.
Okay, you ready?
Okay, even if I can't hear you, I'm gonna plow through this time.
We're gonna just keep going. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it'll work because I can just follow you
Oh, okay. All right. Uh,
because I can hear you the whole
okay.
time.
Alrighty. Then let's crank it up.
Okay, dude.
All right. In Michael Parenti's classic anti-imperial analysis of Hollywood movies, he points to the upside-down way that the make-believe media portrays colonial settlement. In films like Drums Along the Mohawk, 1939, or Shaka Zulu from 1987, the settler is portrayed as surrounded by natives, inverting, in Parenti's view, the role of aggressor so that the colonialism is made to look like self-defense. Indeed, aggression and self-defense are reversed in these movies, but the image of a surrounded fort is not false. Instead, the false image is what emerges when a critique of militarized life is predicated on the forgetting of the life that surrounds it. The fort really was surrounded, is besieged by what still surrounds it, the common beyond the beneath, before and before enclosure. The surround
This
antagonies of the
the lager.
lager? Oh,
Yeah, lager.
like,
It's a formation of tanks.
oh, okay. Uh,
Uh, I have that in my margins because I
oh,
didn't know it.
okay.
Um,
The surround antagonizes. Oh, the surround antagonizes the lager and its myths while disturbing that facts on the ground with some outlaw planning. Our task is the self-defense of the surround in the face of repeated targeted dispossessions through the settlers' armed incursion. And while acquisitive violence occasions this self-defense, it is recourse to self-possession in the face of dispossession, recourse in other words to politics, that represents the real danger. Politics is an ongoing attack on the common, the general and generative antagonism from within the surround. Consider the Black Panther Party for self-defense. First, theorists of the revolution of the surround, the black before and before, the already and the forthcoming. Their twinned commitment to revolution and self-defense emerged from the recognition the, that the preservation of black social life is articulated in and with the violence of innovation. This is not a contradiction of the new thing, always calling for itself, already lives around and below the forts, the police stations, the patrolled highways, and the prison towers. The Panthers theorized revolution without politics, which is to say, revolution with neither a subject nor a principle of decision. Against the law because they were generating law, they practice an ongoing planning to be possessed, hopelessly and optimistically and incessantly indebted, given to unfinished contrapuntal study of and in the common wealth, poverty, and the blackness of the surround. The self-defense of revolution is confronted not only by the brutalities, but also by the false image of enclosure. The hard materiality of the unreal convinces us that we are surrounded, that we must take possession of ourselves, correct ourselves, remain in the emergency, on a permanent footing, settled, determined, protecting nothing but an illusory right to what we do not have, which the settler takes for and as the commons. But in the moment of rights, the commons is already gone in the movement to and of the common that surrounds it and its enclosure. What's left is politics, but even the politics of the commons, of the resistance to enclosure, can only be a politics of ends, a rectitude aimed at the regulatory end of the common. And even when the election that has won turns out to have been lost, and the bomb detonates and or fails to detonate, the common preserves as if a kind of elsewhere, here, around, on the ground, surrounding hallucinogenic facts. Meanwhile, politics soldier on, claiming to defend what it has not enclosed, enclosing what it cannot defend, but only endanger. The settler, having settled for politics, arms himself in the name of civilization, while critique initiates the self-defense of those of us who see hostility in the civil union of settlement and enclosure. We say, rightly, if our critical eyes are sharp enough, that it's evil and uncool to have a place in the sun in the dirty thinness of this atmosphere, that the sheriff was building that house the sheriff was building is in the heart of a fallout zone. And if our eyes carry sharpness farther out, we trail the police so we can put them to trial, on trial. Having looked for politics in order to avoid it, we move next to each other so we can be beside ourselves, because we like the nightlife, which ain't no good life. Critique lets us know that politics is radioactive, but politics is a radiation of critique. So it matters how long we have to do it, how long we have to be exposed to the lethal effects of its antisocial energy. Critique endangers the sociality it is supposed to defend, not because it might turn inward to damage politics, but because it would turn to politics and then turn outward, from the fort to the surround, were it not for preservation, which is given in celebration of what we defend, the socio-poetic force we wrap tightly around us, since we are poor. Taking down our critique, our own positions, our fortifications, is self-defense alloyed with self-preservation. That takedown comes in movement, as a shawl, as the armor of flight. We run looking for a weapon and keep running looking to drop it. And we can drop it because however armed, however hard, the enemy we face is also illusory. Uncut devotion to the critique of this illusion makes us delusional. In the trick of politics, we are insufficient, scarce, waiting in pockets of resistance, in stairwells and alleys in vain. The false image and its critique threaten the common with democracy, which is only ever to come, so that one day, which is only never to come, we will be more than what we are. But we already are. We're already here, moving. We've been around. We're more than politics, more than settled, more than democratic. We surround democracy's false image in order to unsettle it. Every time it tries to enclose us in a decision, we're undecided. Every time it tries to represent our will, we're unwilling. Every time it tries to take root, we're gone because we're already here, moving. We ask and we tell and we cast a spell that we are under, which tells us what to do and how we shall be moved here, where we dance the war of apposition. We're in a trance that's under and around us. We move through it and it moves with us, out beyond the settlements, out beyond the redevelopment, where black night is falling, where we hate to be alone, back inside to sleep till morning, drink till morning, plan till morning, as a common embrace, right inside and around in the surround. In the clear, critical light of day, illusory administrators whisper of our need for institutions, and all institutions are political, and all politics is correctional. So it seems we need correctional institutions in the common, settling it, correcting us. But we won't stand corrected. Moreover, incorrect as we are, there's nothing wrong with us. We don't want to be correct, and we won't be corrected. Politics proposes to make us better, but we were good already in the mutual debt that can never be made good. We owe it to each other to falsify the institution, to make politics incorrect, to give the lie to our own determination. We owe each other the indeterminate. We owe each other everything. An abdication of political responsibility? Okay, whatever. We're just anti-politically romantic about actually existing social life. We aren't responsible for politics. We are the general antagonism to politics looming outside every attempt to politicize, every imposition of self-governance, every sovereign decision and its degraded miniature, every emergent state and home sweet home. We are disruption and consent to disruption. We preserve upheaval, sent to fulfill by abolishing, to renew by unsettling, to open the enclosure whose immeasurable venality is inversely proportionate to its actual area. We got politics surrounded. We cannot represent ourselves. We can't be represented.
That was good, man. I think it
Yeah,
worked.
not bad, huh?
Yeah.
I couldn't hear you very well, but I hope you could hear me. I don't know why you kept cutting. Yeah, it just I don't know the filter thing kept whatever, but it's
I
um
wonder, yeah, I don't know why either. I wonder if there's like a, I don't know. I thought I did all the stuff on the
you probably
audio.
did. It probably might have been on my end as well. I just haven't had time to experiment with the different input outputs and
Things.
all that. Yeah, so it could have been me. So it's but what it might be good to do just for making sure we get it good is we should stop the call and let the recording finish converting, and then make sure that both sounds are there. If not, then we need to record again, right?
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do
Okay.
it.
So let's check that, and I'll message you on Facebook.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Okay. Bye.